So this is going to be a short video, but I'm out here in the suburbs of Chicago, and I'm thinking here, what in these cold states, even in Alaska, you have to understand, you have to do a geological sample of the of the soil, and then from the geological sample you can understand how long it takes for cold weather to inch down into the soil or the crust, depending on the composition of the soil. So when you're putting in infrastructure in the city, sewer, water, underground, gas lines, and so on, you have to go back in historical weather, truly historical weather, and then you can adjust for global warming, truly adjust for global warming, and they tell you how much the temperatures have changed. But to keep it from freezing and water lines breaking and so on, you have to figure out what the soil composition is, and then how many days it takes for the cold weather to permeate, to go through the different layers. So if you're 10 feet down with the water line, depending on soil composition, how long does it take for the freeze to penetrate through the soil to reach the water lines? And you'll say this in, say, Antarctica, if you're putting in underground infrastructure. In Antarctica, truly, underground infrastructure during the summer, water lines and other sewer lines and that. Now, in Antarctica, it would need to be a closed system, and that means you have to be the decay from the sewer, truly sewer gas, you would have to be sucking off. Truly, you couldn't let the gas build up in the line. So you would be sucking off the sewer gas. Truly, you would have to put a ventilation, an exhaust fan in the line. So in the sewer itself, you would create a breeze, and it would be a closed system. You would still have access from different points, but those points would be sealed, truly sealed. And the more above ground accesses, you have to insulate them, because the above ground access allows the cold to go down. So the sewer covers and all that would have to be heavily insulated, preventing the permafrost, the chill from going down into the sewer system. But it would have to be a closed system. You would use an exhaust fan, and you would blow the sewer gas through. And that's what's not going on with our sewer systems right now. We don't have any exhaust. So you have running water, but we don't have a breeze in the sewer system. So we need to create ventilation, but our sewers are going up and then they're exhausting, releasing the gas into the atmosphere. So what we would need to do, truly, what we would need to do is close off the sewers, truly. But first, before we do that, we would have to set a vacuum system, airflow through the sewers, so it pushes the gas and to the waste treatment plant, and the waste treatment plant would capture that atmosphere separate than the water. The water and that are coming in together, but they're separating out the atmosphere, the gases, the air from the water. And so it comes in and vacuums the air up one way, and the wastewater goes another way, and it's separated at the treatment plant. But they have to create some form of suction at the treatment plant. They need to push and pull the air So you have to have exhaust fans blowing, and you have to install them in the sewer tunnel. Truly, on the top of the sewer tunnel, and they would have to be waterproof. The fans itself have to be waterproof. And if it floods, it gets up there, the fans automatically shut off. Truly, they don't run underwater unless you want to. The fans can operate underwater. I mean, we have boats that operate their blades underwater, and that's all you need, and they're waterproof, so any vessel. But this would be encased and protected, so no one could get hit by the blades. But it would be waterproof, and if you leave it in there, it can help push the water out faster if you have storm surge into the sewer systems. So naturally, it creates airflow in the sewer systems, and then if it floods, it helps move the water along quicker through the sewer system. Truly, keeping from flooding. Now, the water treatment plant, they're building this huge water retention pond in Chicago. And so if they push the water out fast, truly, the fans can go underwater. They're above water to push out the air. But if it floods, the fans still churn underwater, and they push the air through. Truly. So you'd have to set it up correctly, because you don't waste or anything getting stuck on it. So you have to set it up where it has self-cleaning ability so it doesn't get clogged. I mean, you get engineers designing it correctly, and you can do this, and instead of having the sewer caps where they exhaust the sewer gas into the atmosphere, which causes all kinds of global warming. Sewers cause massive global warming. You wouldn't do that. So you would have sewer gas. I mean, you wouldn't do that. So you would be capturing the sewer gas, closing off, like, see all this air coming out the vents? But you would have airflow reverse, and it wouldn't be exhausting. Truly. So you can see the gas. You'll see it because it's really cold. And you see it vent into the atmosphere. So these are intakes, but there's no water going down or anything. So they are releasing gas into the atmosphere. But if you got good airflow, then the air is going down, and these can be sealed. Truly, they need to be sealed. They need to automate. When there's no water flow, truly, then they can close. So they create a vacuum, and when there's water flow, they open up. So they'd have to have some kind of sensor system that closes them and opens them. And obviously it can't freeze. So maybe it's a magnetic system. Truly a magnetic system. You don't want any gearing or anything, so you got to figure out. And magnets can operate at extremely cold temperatures, and it can be a magnetic system that moves the closing and opening of the valves. And these are valves. They're intake valves, and you want the valves to close. So you have to have some kind of system where the valves are closed, and if it gets enough water, the valves automatically open. Truly. And then no water, the valves automatically close. So, again, this can help global warming all over the place, and we can put this in place in Illinois, this type of system. And I'll add to this video a bunch of information below.